Resuming debate, the Honourable Member for Ottawa West-Nepean.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. I'll be splitting my time today with the Honourable Member for Brampton East. As this is the first time that I am rising in the House, I would like to express my heartfelt thanks to the people of Ottawa West-Nepean for placing their confidence and trust in me to be their representative. I will continue to listen to the views of all the residents in Ottawa West-Nepean and to bring their ideas into the decision-making process in this House. I would also like to thank my family, whose support and encouragement made it possible for me to be here. My parents, Herman and Maria Vandenbeld, who immigrated from the Netherlands to start a new life in Canada, as so many others have. My sister Melinda, my loving husband, Don Dransfield, and my stepdaughter, Courtney, who are here watching me today. I would like to congratulate you, Mr. Speaker, on the assumption of your role in the chair, and through you, I congratulate all the honourable members for their election, especially the 196 other honourable members who, like me, are newly elected. I look forward to working with all members from all sides of this House to bring a fresh perspective and work hard to improve the lives of Canadians. Today, I would like to touch on a few highlights from the speech from the throne that matter to the people of Ottawa West-Nepean. First, I would like to speak to our government's commitment to more open, transparent, and inclusive government. We have committed to making every vote count and consulting broadly with Canadians so that 2015 will be the last election using the anachronistic first-past-the-post electoral system. But this is not the end of it. We will also make sure that honourable members are able to be more effective once we are elected to this place, through more free votes, strengthening committees, and in ending the use of omnibus bills and prorogation. We will promote more dialogue and debate, which will lead to better policy making. La plus grande force dans un pays.
The greatest strength of a democratic country is its people, their experience, their knowledge. We are going to respect and listen to diplomats, all Canadians, public servants.
Many public servants in my constituency. The speech from the throne commits to more open, transparent, and collaborative government. We will respect the independence and professionalism of public servants and listen to scientists, experts, stakeholders, and all those affected by government policy when making decisions. We will base our decisions on evidence and facts, and we will govern for all Canadians. Mr. Speaker, I represent a riding that is incredibly diverse. 1 in 3 residents were not born in Canada. We have many seniors. Over 10% of the population is over the age of 65. And there are also a growing number of young families with children. There is large income disparity with some of the richest and poorest neighbourhoods in the country. It is a vibrant and welcoming community where people understand that if our neighbours do well, we all do well. That is why I am proud of the commitments in the speech from the throne to cut taxes for the middle class, to enhance the Canada Pension Plan to provide seniors with a more secure retirement, and to strengthen the employment insurance system. The investments that our government will make in social infrastructure, green technology, and growing the economy will help to close the gap between the rich and poor and ensure that every Canadian has an equal chance to succeed. I am especially pleased with our commitment to creating more opportunities for young Canadians and providing a new Canada Child Benefit that will raise over 315,000 children out of poverty. Mes parents sont des immigrants.
My parents are immigrants. They came here from Holland in the 60s. My sister and I had the opportunity to succeed, the opportunity to go to university and to find good jobs. I want all children in Canada to have the same opportunities I had.
Always been a welcoming country. People have come here from all over the world to seek peace, prosperity, and to make their homes here. And those who were born here, whose ancestors were here, have always welcomed the newcomers. We have built bridges and sought to understand one another. This is even more important in difficult times. This is the reason that Canada is strong. I am proud of our government's commitment to more inclusivity, to gender parity, to welcoming refugees and supporting family reunification of immigrants, and to real reconciliation with First Nations, Inuit, and Métis peoples. I am proud that the Cabinet has 50% women and men, but we need to do more. Too many women face violence in Canada simply because they are women. The fact that over 1,200 Aboriginal women and girls are missing or murdered is a stain on our national fabric. That is why I am so pleased that our government announced a national public inquiry. But that is only the first step. We have a long way to go to achieve full gender parity in Canada, and I am encouraged by recent remarks by the new Minister for the Status of Women regarding improvements to the material well-being of women and children. Just as Canada is committed to human rights and equality at home, we will be renewing our commitment to the most vulnerable in the world. The speech from the throne refers to development assistance to the world's poorest people and a renewed commitment to United Nations peacekeeping operations. As a civilian who has taken part in such peacekeeping operations, I know firsthand how vital a role Canada can play in conflict prevention, post-conflict reconstruction, and support for both military and civilian peace operations. I especially look forward to Canada being a global champion for Security Council Resolution 1325, which states that women must be involved in all stages of peace negotiations and peacekeeping efforts. We must also remember that early and rapid intervention can often prevent conflicts from escalating, and that Canada is in an ideal position to invest in democratic governance institutions in failed and fragile states. We have much work ahead of us to rebuild our international development and aid mechanisms, but such challenges also provide opportunity for innovative thinking and building on other successful global models. Having worked for many years for United Nations agencies, I was heartened last week to see that UNHCR referred to Canada as an international model when it comes to the resettlement of Syrian refugees. I, like many Canadians, am proud that we will be taking in 25,000 Syrian refugees by February. But I'm even more overwhelmed by the generosity and goodness of the people of Ottawa West-Nepean, who have been coming to me in large numbers asking how they can help. I was especially moved by how many established immigrant groups were reaching out to help those who are newly arrived. It is this kind of community spirit that makes Canada one of the most remarkable and unique countries in the world. And it is this coming together of Canadians toward a single goal that makes the impossible possible. I have never been more proud to be a Canadian than when I see the outpouring of support by ordinary people to those who need our help. Mr. Speaker, Canada is once again taking a leadership role in the world. Climate change is probably the key issue on which our children and grandchildren will judge us. I am encouraged by the leadership role that our Prime Minister and Minister have taken at the talks in Paris, and by the commitment in the speech from the throne to investing in clean technology and reducing carbon pollution. Canada really is back. Mr. Speaker, in this, my first speech in Parliament, I wish to put on the record the reasons that I'm here and for whom I plan to work during the coming years. I am here for Flaminia, a 12-year-old girl whose parents fled the Congo as refugees seeking a new life in Canada. She's growing up in public housing in one of the poorest neighborhoods in my riding, as one of 6 children in her family. She is among 14% of my constituents for whom French is their first language. Flaminia wants to be a journalist when she grows up. I want to make sure that that is possible for her. I'm here for Vesna. She is 79 years old and still looking after her 55-year-old autistic son who's been on a waiting list for housing for 15 years. I want to make sure that our investments in social infrastructure will help her to know that her son will be able to live independently once she is no longer able to care for him. I'm here for Roland. He's an engineer who lost his job at Nortel and has been working part-time as a French instructor. I want every Canadian to have the opportunity to use their skills and contribute fully to our economy. Mr. Speaker, I have many more such stories, but my time today is short. I am optimistic that this 42nd Parliament will work collaboratively to listen to Canadians and to build on the commitments in the speech from the throne to improve our communities and our country. Thank you, Mr. Speaker.